Illinois, a state located in the heart of the Midwest, plays a vital role in the national landscape of the United States. While most people associate Illinois with its bustling metropolis, Chicago, the state's significance extends far beyond just this iconic city. Illinois has made substantial contributions to the country's economy, politics, and culture. Yet, behind its many achievements lies a more complex and troubling narrative. Beneath the surface of this state, often referred to as the Land of Lincoln, darker issues come to light, ranging from social and economic challenges to political corruption and environmental concerns. To truly understand the darker side of Illinois, we begin with Chicago, often labeled as the most corrupt city in the United States. For 4 consecutive years, Chicago has held this notorious title, according to various reports. This reputation has significantly impacted Illinois, placing it 3rd among the most corrupt states in the country. Corruption in Chicago has become deeply ingrained, manifesting in a variety of forms, from bribery and extortion to fraud, conflicts of interest, and the misuse of public funds. These actions have severely undermined public trust in government institutions. A study by the University of Illinois, drawing on public corruption case statistics from the U.S. Department of Justice, paints a grim picture. In 2021 alone, there were 32 public corruption convictions in Chicago, a sharp rise from the previous year's 22 convictions. 2 major investigations have stood at the center of this corruption crisis. The first involves Commonwealth Edison, a prominent electricity company, and its ties to former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan. The second probes whether officials accepted bribes related to the installation of red light cameras in Chicago's suburbs. The financial impact of corruption in Illinois is staggering. Taxpayers are estimated to lose around $550 million annually due to these corrupt activities. Beyond the immediate economic losses, the corruption crisis has far-reaching effects on social mobility in the state. According to the Archbridge Institute, Illinois ranks 40th among U.S. states in terms of social mobility, a key indicator of residents' ability to improve their economic status. The widespread corruption has contributed to a worsening social environment where many residents struggle to escape poverty. Chicago, despite its economic power, suffers from a poverty rate of around 17%, exacerbated by the corruption that eats away at opportunities for growth and prosperity. Illinois, particularly its largest city, Chicago, faces a serious and often underreported issue: human trafficking and prostitution. Brenda Myers-Powell, a human trafficking survivor and CEO of Ernestine's Daughter, a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting survivors of trafficking and gender-based violence, has been vocal about the scale of the problem. Illinois is a hub for human trafficking, Powell revealed. We need help. We need the resources to confront this epidemic. Her words reflect a harsh reality in a state where the prevalence of prostitution is alarmingly high, with numerous locations across Chicago known for such activities. Yet, despite the magnitude of the problem, government funding to address it has fallen woefully short. The Illinois Office of Management and Budget reports that over $115 million is allocated annually to combat gender-based violence, including sexual violence, domestic abuse, and human trafficking. However, only a meager $100,000 of that amount, less than 1%, is specifically designated for services aimed at trafficking victims. The stark imbalance in funding raises serious concerns about the state's commitment to effectively addressing the issue. It's a disheartening reality that leaves many survivors without adequate resources or support. This lack of action is reflected in Illinois' poor performance when it comes to fighting sex trafficking. Shared Hope International, an organization that monitors states' efforts in this area, has given Illinois a failing grade, signaling the urgent need for reform. Part of the problem lies in how law enforcement handles prostitution-related arrests. Shockingly, about 90% of those arrested for prostitution are the individuals selling sex, while fewer than 10% are those running brothels, trafficking the victims, or purchasing sexual services. This skewed arrest pattern highlights a systemic flaw in the legal framework surrounding prostitution in Illinois, which criminalizes the most vulnerable rather than targeting those perpetuating the trade. Adding to the complexity of this issue is the ongoing debate around decriminalizing prostitution in Illinois. The potential shift in legal policy has sparked both strong support and opposition, fueling a contentious public discourse. In 2023, Illinois faced a deeply concerning homelessness crisis, with a dramatic 18% increase in the number of people without stable housing. Today, more than 103,000 individuals across the state are living without a secure place to call home. This marks a staggering 55% rise in homelessness since 2013. Even more troubling, over half, approximately 51.9%, of these people lack access to adequate shelters, forcing many to live on the streets, in their cars, or in unsafe conditions. Nowhere is this crisis more evident than in Cook County, home to Chicago, where the situation has reached alarming proportions. On certain nights, the number of homeless people in this area can climb to as high as 69,000. Almost 45% of these individuals, including families, are sleeping in public spaces or vehicles. The crisis extends beyond adults. Nearly 14,000 children in Illinois experience homelessness each year, a heartbreaking reality that reflects the severity of the problem. The housing crisis in Illinois is further aggravated by the influx of refugees and undocumented immigrants, many of whom struggle to find affordable housing. In 2021, Illinois was home to around 539,000 undocumented immigrants, a group that faces heightened risks of homelessness due to their precarious legal and economic status. These vulnerable populations, unable to access proper housing or support services, add another layer of complexity to the already strained system. While the state government has allocated more than $2 billion in the 2023 to 2024 budget to address homelessness, the impact of these efforts has been limited. Experts estimate that truly ending homelessness in Illinois would require a far larger investment, around $27 billion over the next 12 years. Given Illinois' high levels of corruption and financial mismanagement, achieving this goal may seem like an unreachable dream. Ultimately, the homelessness crisis in Illinois goes beyond statistics. It's about real lives. People sleeping under bridges, in temporary shelters, or huddled on the streets, each with their own stories of survival. If you're considering a move to Illinois in hopes of pursuing better career opportunities, you might want to weigh your options carefully. According to rankings from U.S. News and World Report, Illinois places 35th out of 50 states when it comes to job opportunities. This isn't exactly encouraging news for job seekers or those hoping to build a career in the state. Even more concerning, the job search platform Zippia ranks Illinois as the 14th worst state in the U.S. for finding a job. This ranking takes into account key factors such as unemployment rates, current job growth, future employment prospects, and state income taxes. The picture doesn't improve much for remote workers either. A report from Hub ranks Illinois 28th in the best and worst states for remote work, largely due to its relatively low quality of living score, just 40 out of 100. Given these rankings, It's clear that Illinois may not be the most promising place to start or advance your career, whether you're looking for in-office roles or remote work opportunities. With high unemployment rates, sluggish job growth, and tax burdens, it may be worth considering other states with more favorable job markets. Weather in Illinois can be a mixed bag, with average annual temperatures ranging between 48 and 58 degrees Fahrenheit. While this might seem mild, a closer look reveals that the state's weather is far from ideal. Winters in Illinois can be harsh, with average temperatures often dipping into the teens and 20s, creating bitterly cold conditions that can be difficult to endure. If you're not a fan of freezing winters, Illinois might not be the place for you. Even summers may not provide the warmth you're hoping for. During the summer months, average temperatures typically stay in the 50s and 60s, meaning Illinois summers lack the heat and sunshine many associate with the season. For those seeking a more traditional summer experience, Illinois might feel disappointingly cool. On top of the uneven temperature swings, Illinois also grapples with the growing effects of climate change. Take Carbondale, for instance, a city in Illinois that experienced record-breaking heat waves in 2022. This kind of extreme weather is becoming more frequent, further underscoring the state's environmental challenges. The impact of climate change is worsening weather patterns, adding another layer of difficulty to life in Illinois and marking yet another challenge for the state to confront. In summary, whether it's the unsteady job market or the unpredictable and often unforgiving weather, moving to Illinois might require careful thought and preparation.